Do you read me?
Be advised, you are coming in weak and unreadable.
Say again, Com Tower. This is Pacho. Do you read me? Over.
Pacho, this is Com Tower. I read you Lima Charlie.
Com Tower, Com Tower. Request permission to launch and commence the field op. Over.
Stand by. Pacho, permission granted. I say again, permission granted.
Roger that. Launching podcast in 3, 2. You are now entering the field op with your host, Pacho Correa, Chief Warrant Officer 3, United States Marine Corps retired. Get some. Hurrah!
Get some, all right. What's going on, everybody? Friday night's eve, baby Friday. God damn, it's almost the weekend. We got a really great show for you today. An amazing guest who's been, it's pretty much where I got started, but I don't want to let the cat out of the bag. Let's get all the pleasantries out of the way, shall we? Hey, when was the last time that you knew, where were you on the financial health side? In other words, we talk about us veterans getting out, being healthy, taking care of ourselves through the VA and utilizing our resources. However, when was the last time that we took a hard look at where we are at health-wise, but on the financial side? Or how healthy are we protecting our families? And if you're kind of like thinking like, what is this guy saying? Well, that's where I come in. I work with veterans, transitioning service members, and active duty. Basically, take a hard look. We'll take a look at your finances. Where is that you're lacking, and that way we can triage the situation so that as you're getting out of the service, or you want to implement some things now that you're post-service and you're kind of paving your way in this new career or transition, then let me be your guide, and let me be that guide, so that way you don't have to worry and then lose sleep overnight. And God forbid something were to happen, then and your families are the ones holding that stick, saying, oh, what do we do next? So that's where I come in, and it makes sense to have a guy like me, somebody who unfortunately I learned all this through the School of Hard Knocks. So I want to prevent you from going through those things as well. And like many other veterans, kind of feeling their way around. So now's the time, and I'll be more than glad to get with you for a free 1-hour strategy session. And we can take a look at some things, and because the information that you take away from it is very tangible, and you can start applying it right away. All right. And on the other side too is when was the last time that you took a look at where you sit with your VA claims and benefits? If you're not at 100% yet, let me help you. Let me show you how you can capitalize and learn the system, as well as apply some of these things on yourself. And once you get you go from 10 to 40 to 50 to 60 to 70%. I've even helped some folks get to 100, to the magical number. Hey, no promises, no guarantees. I'm just a guy who learned some things, especially with this mentor that we're going to have on the show here in just a second, and apply and kind of do it. And now I'm helping others doing it. So give me a call. You can shoot me a DM. You can find me on LinkedIn, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all those avenues. Social media approach, and then we can have a conversation. And look, if you like what you hear, don't forget to make sure you like, subscribe, and follow. But hey, if you don't like the sexy accent, you can check out sitchradio.com. The folks there are amazing individuals. Plenty of other shows out there that you can listen to, but just support your local podcaster, because in this show, I protect the Constitution in every climate and place. So we can agree to disagree, as well as, we support here the right to bear arms, freedom of speech, and everything else. So check out the show and stick around, because we got a really amazing guest. All right, so that's all the pleasantries, all that good stuff out of the way. My next guest has been here before. He is not only a mentor, but he's also a great friend. He is the owner and director of sitchradio.com. I mean, this guy, as it pertains to social media content output, AI, and just a lot of stuff, he is my Yoda to me being Luke Skywalker. Or maybe he wants to be Luke Skywalker. I don't know, but we'll ask him. Anyways, hey, let's welcome everybody. I'll give you Brian Colburn, everybody.
Woo!
And I can't even talk English today. Holy shit.
It's all right, man. There's an app for that.
Must be the apples and nuts I was eating earlier. God damn.
Oh man, Pacho, it's good to see you. It's good to be on your show, man. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a little bit, brother. I mean, you know, let's give a little brief recap who you are. You know, obviously the branch, all the other things, just so we can refresh everybody's memory.
Yeah, Brian Colburn served in the United States Marine Corps, and that's why Pacho and I refer to each other as brother, because we are. I've been in content creation full time for about the last 14 years, primarily producing podcasts for others. Worked with production teams for West Point's podcast, 511, Read Exhibitions out of the UK, Wharton University's FinTech podcast. Been touched a lot of shows in many different categories. And in doing that, I've identified weaknesses and I tailor content to help the creators create more efficiently, the introduction of new tools. If it can take the pain away from the podcaster, because the majority of podcasters are paying out of pocket to do it. They don't merely generate revenue to cover their expense. They're doing it as a passion project. So if I can help them save time or save cost, then it's a win-win for everybody. That's me in a apple in nutshell.
We were having a so just so everybody knows, we have a little bit of inside joke going because should I say it?
It's your show, brother.
So I like to eat apples mixed with almonds and cashews and so on and so forth. So I like mixing that. But I was telling Brian that, hey, there's no straight way of saying this, but I just like the taste of nuts and apples, and we just lost it earlier. But you know, getting back to the show, AI is an explosion in content creation, and pretty much everybody's using it. I was just at a military content creator convention the weekend before last, and the second day was just everything AI based, and it opened my eyes as to so many things that you can do. But from your perspective, what's real versus hype when it comes to AI?
You know, this is one of those questions that the answer is going to be different every day because it's changing so rapidly.
Right.
And it's one of those things to where how I work with my creators is if we can use it to minimize the amount of time in research, if we can use it to minimize the time in transferring files from one platform to the other, those are good ethical ways to use AI. Now, you can use it to generate content, and I believe there's an ethical way to do it. I personally produce a show 5 days a week called EM Morning Brief. It's a news story. AI has been trained over, today was 160 episodes, been trained over 160 episodes to go to specific sites and search for the type of content I want to regurgitate in a news form. And then it writes a script for me. That script is put into another piece of software that has an AI component, and an AI voice is applied to it. But A, I disclose that it's AI up front. And B, I don't feel it takes away from the content because everything spoken is cited with a clickable link so you can go to the source. And I did that so people would understand that this is newsworthy, number one. It's timely, it's short, and it's 100% citable. So it's you can trust the information. So I think that is a great ethical use of AI, from research to creation to voicing, and then I publish the file. Does that make sense?
No, it does. It makes sense now because obviously you and me have been kind of talking about this, and you've been walking me through a lot of these things along the way. So, but and, you know, in a day and age, again, I mean, now we have AI generating, video like content as well.
Mhm.
That seems very realistic. And not to bring politics into the whole thing, it's just that there's a lot of mistrust out there now in regards to folks being like, hey, well, is this fake news, or what, or is this content real? Especially, and I know you and me kind of dabble. Well, I dabble in sales, and I know you do as well. But it's like, okay, who can we trust the source? So that's kind of where we're, um, people are saying, oh man, can I trust this source, and can I make this purchase, and is this real? You know what I'm saying?
I do, and I'm going to bring this back to the military. First of all, number one, if you scroll the internet and you regurgitate headlines that you read as fact and you didn't even read the story, 100% you're bad. Number two, I vet everything. If one news source says something, I see what other news sources are saying about the same thing, especially in today's world where fair and balanced news is no longer a requirement. And it's, in my opinion, heavily influenced by whoever's, the largest sponsor for that news segment. But in the military, when we would get a piece of intelligence, it was called information until it was verified. Then it became intelligence. And I encourage everyone to do the same thing. If you read something, don't go out and start spreading it as if it were gospel. We need to take into account what mood we're in when we're consuming content, and to break that down into a more understandable way. When we get in the car and we're going to drive for an hour, we put on music that fits our mood. We don't put on music to help us get to the mood we want, unless you're a gym rat and you're heading to the gym and you're blasting Metallica, right?
Right.
But if I'm not in the mood for a comedy on TV, I'm probably going to watch action. And it's the same thing when we're reading and consuming content online. If we're not in this mood to receive content and question it and verify it, maybe it's not the best time to be reading news. Maybe it's time to go watch some TikTok dances.
I get it. No, and because when we in this space, and now me, using these tools, so to speak, to create content, kind of streamline a lot of processes, and obviously you coaching me and guiding me. I mean, it helps you with idea generation. I mean, it saved my ass a bunch of times. But so kind of going back, in regards to some of the things that you were alluding to, like for you, where do you find yourself or personally using AI the most?
Wow, I've got things so interconnected. I use it a lot. When you can take a tool that you can speak to like a human, and you can have it research, organize files on your computer, and it will actually move them around and then give you a list of what to delete because you no longer need it per your prompt, because it won't do anything destructive. That's against its rules. So you manually have to go in and delete, but it can move, rename, organize. And these are files on your computer. These are files in a G drive. These are emails. You can tell Claude, for example, hey, run through my unopened emails, prioritize them in whatever fashion you want them prioritized, and then go through every email in my inbox, if you use your inbox as a to-do list, and work those into this prioritization. My goal is to clear 20 items today. It will go in and find the 20 top tasks or emails you need to deal with based on how you trained it. And for example, new money in is priority number one. So if it's a new customer, new money coming into the business, priority number one. Money in, priority number two. Leads, prospects, they're beneath that, because obviously money needs to come in to pay the bills for me to keep doing what I'm doing. But you can organize and prioritize any way you'd like. And it's smart enough now to where you can create a file that says priorities. And then you just have to go in and update that one file to retrain the agent, the skill. You know, if you put thought into how you're going to utilize it, it can help you dramatically. You can give it a PDF of your bank statement and ask it to itemize your business expenses, categorize your business expenses. Some tools will hook up to QuickBooks, so you can, you know, manipulate. I shouldn't say manipulate, bad word. You can manage your finances in the ledger, if you will. So it's really how you're going to use it. But the work that I do with the majority of my clients is foundational. What do we want this to do? Let's set some goals and expectations. Let's ensure they're realistic. And then let's build the assets out we need to help train the AI to do what we want it to do to accomplish those goals we established. So, for example, one of the first things I do working with a new client is we build a brand voice guide. And it includes more than colors, logos, they're in there. But these are things we say. These are the tones we speak in. We never say these phrases. We never say these words. And then we complete this, and it's a 9-page. I think I sent you the document, Pacho. It's like a 9-page Word document of Q&A. And once we give it that, then we load in as many examples within reason as we can of work that we've done, emails that we've sent, public posts, newsletter articles, whatever. So it now has a great understanding of how we speak, what our idioms are, what slang we use, what slang we don't use, our tonality and our pacing. And it will take all of that into account and then bounce any work you do. If you say, I'm writing a quick article, bounce this off my brand guide, it will come in and help you edit and form that so you're speaking consistently to your audience for that brand. Does that make sense?
No, yeah. I mean, it kind of streamlines the process and just instead of outsourcing your work to somebody that can, look it over and then they send it back to you, you already have that all created internally and right there at your fingertips, if that makes, for lack of better words, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And let me share this nugget with you, because a lot of content creators, they're into affiliate marketing. They're repping products and services from time to time, hoping somebody buys to generate a little revenue to offset the cost of producing their show.
Right.
Awesome. I have had for a long time a database in a product called Notion of all my affiliate relationships, so I can quickly go get a link and share it with somebody if I need to. So that's one piece. And now I have some Substacks that I write for where affiliate marketing is allowed. And now I have Claude. So what I did is I built a inventory control skill that will write to and recategorize to delete products in this database. So I can tell Claude, hey, here's a link for new product I'm repping, add it to the database. Poof, it's in my database. And then I created a completely separate skill called merchandiser. So I can say, hey, here's an article that I just wrote. I need you to run through it and insert any of my affiliate relationship links into the article. Slight modification to make it flow is fine. When you do that, if you add one, you need to add an affiliate disclaimer to line number 1 for the article. In the footer, I would like another affiliate disclaimer with all the links again in a bulleted format. So it does it automatically. I no longer have to think about that.
Wow. I mean, and now I started, and because of you, and I was at that, again at MCC, and hopefully we could get you talking there next year. But because of that, and people talk Substack, and I was like, man, Brian is all over that as well, because I get your email, I get your newsletter. I was like, man, maybe that's something too that I should get into, which I, with the help of AI, as well as, me going over the articles, I started to publish some stuff, VA, veteran related, among other content. So, I mean, I'm all for it. So, but can AI generate content ever truly feel authentic? What do you think? What do you think about that? Because I know my wife can point out like a video. Sometimes I'm like, oh, hey, this is pretty cool. My wife looks like, no, that's AI. I'm like, how can you tell? But can do you think on the writing piece, do you think it'll ever get that good?
It is that good right now if you take the time to train it. Most people don't. They are like, I'm going to check out ChatGPT. Hey, ChatGPT, write an article why blue is better than red when it comes to color superiority. And they get this article and they copy and paste it as they're, going to win the Pulitzer for it, for their piece of work. But starting with that brand guide and teaching it your idioms and giving it all these examples of how you write, you are going to be super surprised on how well written pieces come back to you. Plus, every single dead giveaway where you can say this is AI, M dash, for example, ChatGPT, a lot of AI products love the M dash. You can say never use an M dash. All of my brand guides that we generate, that's a hard rule already in there. Never use M dashes. And as the technology changes and new things are brought to light that are dead giveaways to AI, you just say, never do this. And you're good. So there's that, but it's a layered approach. It takes time. I mean, for example, Pacho, you have an email system. You can go to your outbox and there's every email that you've ever written, usually in a reply to something. You can tell Claude, go drag this email inbox and give me a report on my writing style in dealing with clients. While you're there, I would like you to catalog every objection given in the note I'm replying to. I would like you to give me how I handled that objection. And let's put that in a table so we can look at that data differently in a later prompt.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So you're going to have this scrubbed email system that now Claude has a good understanding of how you write, how you reply to emails, what you consistently do, what you don't consistently do. It's learning your behavior. But more importantly, you now have this table of objections and how you handle them. Hey, from a sales perspective, now I referred to a skill earlier I have for sales. It's trained in social selling. It's trained in NEPQ. It's trained to flip the script a little bit and show people how this product can relieve the pain you're feeling in whatever you're feeling. So when you give this kind of data and say, I need you to critique this, number one, come up with a list of things I should remove from my vocabulary and never say again from the things I've said in the past. And then give me some examples of how I can reframe and overcome these objections. So now you're starting to build a playbook that's 100% pertinent to your customers and you. Not some manual the company gave you, not some cheat sheet that, some other sales guy wrote up. This is data. This is your data.
That's amazing, bro. And I guess in regards to the future of content creation, what do you think content creators should be focusing right now, or kind of hone that skill so as other things come down the pipeline, they're kind of somewhat ahead.
Yeah, you know what? I'm always going to go back, and I've harped this. How long have we been working together, Pacho? 4 years? 5 years?
Yeah, man, that's crazy.
You've heard this from me before. Foundation. What is your goal for the content you're creating? What do you want to come of this content? If you understand your goals and mission, it's easy to teach AI your goals and your mission and ensure that everything that you do supports those goals and missions. But it's that foundational work. If you haven't done the work to identify your ideal customer avatar, and I still have a hard time with this, but it truly helps you speak to just that one person, which in turn allows that message to hit the masses a little harder.
Okay.
You know, if you take the time to do this foundational stuff, it's easy to say yes or no to things. And once that foundation is there, log your time. How much time does it take you to do tasks 1 through 10? Let's find that task that takes the longest, that you do the most frequently, and let's see how AI can remove that pain from your life. You know, I talked about that show, Morning Brief. I wake up and my brief is done. It's now a scheduled task in AI. There's no more hard research anymore. It's done. Copy, paste into Descript, some light editing, and I'm putting a voice to it. I cut production down from 60 minutes a day to 30 minutes a day. That's 2.5 hours a week I'm now saving because of the way I'm using AI. And it's going to get better because of some new connectors that I just made. So it only gets better.
No, and it's like one of the things that you introduced me to with AI and other resources like Airtable. I know you got me on that. Keeping track of my podcast. There are so many things that you can do with it. To kind of, one thing that I always struggle is posting content. Like, okay, what am I gonna post today, or what am I gonna talk about? Whatever. And I know, because I know you've always been on foot and ass mode on me, dude. You got to get organized. You got to get, have your social media put out. But with, using AI and Airtable, which I was already on that platform, I already got a content calendar already put together. It told me, hey, on Mondays, because that's what I was like, man, what am I going to put together? It said, look, I get it. Mondays do this, Tuesday do this, Wednesday do this, film this on Sunday. Here's your script. Feel free to make it you, blah, blah, blah. And all I do is just copy and paste, and then done,
So now let's throw some AI juice on this mess. Because, for example, in the content creation space, I subscribe to a lot of social media related newsletters. I subscribe to a lot of podcast newsletters. I subscribe to a lot of newsletters. All of those emails get put in a folder, and a Claude skill goes through that folder, or can go through that folder if I'm hurting for content. Hey, I need you to go through the last 7 days of emails in this folder and put together 10 different show ideas for me to evaluate, and weight them from most searched to least searched. And now you have an organized list based off of emails you never read. Right?
Yeah.
Right. We can go one step farther and intentionally subscribe to newsletters, your next level up. So, and what I mean by that is, let's see, what would be a good example? If you're training people for an entry-level position, you're going to get entry-level position type newsletters.
Right.
Well, as people get promoted, the content they're consuming to stay up to date with their new tasks are more beneficial, and they're no longer reading the entry-level stuff.
Right.
So if you're educating yourself on the next tier, third tier up, fourth tier up, then you're going to be able to speak to your audience in a different manner as well. For example, you serving the veteran community, you could put together a research skill that goes out and hits, I don't know, we'll say nonprofit veteran-specific nonprofit events coming up the next 7 days. And formalize that into a quick blurb newsletter. It'll go straight to Substack or dump into a Word doc. You can copy and paste wherever you want. But now you're kind of creating some residual content that supports your mission, but doesn't directly support the show. But now you have this whole new vertical for discovery. Somebody might be looking for veteran events. Oh, let me find Pacho. Oh, he also has a podcast. Oh, he also has a Substack. Let me hook up with this guy on LinkedIn. And you can pull him deeper into your ecosystem.
Wow. That's crazy. And we could talk about, I know you have a hard stop here coming up, but where can people reach out to get more trained mentoring from you and support, support and learn from you as well?
LinkedIn is the best place to find me and reach out. If you would like to find me on Substack, search for Feed Drops, FEED DROPS. That's one of the newsletters where I talk about content creation. And I'm kind of converting it from all podcast to podcast newsletter and incorporating an AI piece into it because it's so important for creators these days.
That's amazing, brother. Any parting words for the audience, and any final words of wisdom?
If you have thought about becoming a creator, there's no better time to do it. Start now with a goal in mind. Get your foundation set up and start creating it. There's people out there that don't like me or my content, and I get it. I'm not everybody's cup of tea. That's fine. But there's an audience that does connect with the type of content and the tone and manner in which I speak. And those are the people I want to surround myself with. So it's good. Yes, you're going to have haters. Cool. No big deal. They are what they are. But you're going to find and carve out your audience, which can help you achieve whatever goals you established before you started creating content.
That's awesome, brother. Thanks so much for your service. Thanks so much for, all these years helping me out, bro. And definitely we're going to have you on the show again. But,
absolutely, man.
Thanks so much, brother. And stay away from the apples and nuts.
Absolutely. Love you, brother. We'll talk soon.
Semper Fi. Thanks, brother. I'll talk to you later. Well, that's the show for today. Listen, if you want to get with Brian and you want to find out more about AI, because these conversations, I know I just gave you a little bit of a teaser, and I did that on purpose because you got to get with him. As a matter of fact, I myself I booked myself, not only this time, but in the past, I booked an hour with him because it's just full of golden nuggets, and every little bit of information, it's gold. So I highly encourage you that if you want more and you have goals where you need to be, even in things that you may not think that, that you may not need a guide. I'm telling you, this man, he knows his stuff. So, and I'm done pumping him up because the dude is really good. But hey, look, if you've been struggling with rumination, you've been sad, you just kind of like letting the voices in your head kind of get the best of you, reach out to me, reach out to the show, reach out to one of the many resources that we have out there, like Veterans One Source, Military One Source, the VA hotline, anybody. But just don't become a statistic, because at the end of the day, we just want you to be here. We don't want you to be part of the 22 a day. All right. So with that being said, everybody, I think this is a pretty cool place to index. So I just want to say, Aistamas, Daisuki, Ura, get some. I'll talk to you next week. Yut! I'm trying to log off right now.